Dillon's Furniture, now at their new location on Main Street, behind Dillon's Country Treasures and next to McDonald's, has all your home furnishing needs. That's why it's quality home furnishings for less at Dillon's Furniture.
You were born 1910?
Yeah.
Where were you born at?
Over there below levels. Down below where that Oak Grove Church is. My grandfather had a farm there. Well, I'm not famous, unless you make me famous.
That's what we're working on. Somebody told me that you got out of the hospital the other day so you could go vote.
Yeah.
And why were you in the hospital?
Right here.
Oh my word. In case you don't know it, they cut you.
Yeah. From my ear, from my ear, down to here, my collarbone.
Wow, what was that for?
Cancer. Well, I went from the hospital to the voting pool.
Is that right?
I didn't even come home.
People today who say, I don't really need to vote because my vote don't count.
It does count.
Yes.
And if you want to change anything, you got to get out and do it. That's all there is to it. You can't sit at home and complain about it and let somebody else do the fighting.
Now, do you remember by any chance who the first president was that you voted for?
Roosevelt.
You have voted for, what do we say, 21 different presidential elections,
Yeah.
14 different presidents. You have remained very patriotic.
Well, I was raised that way. My God, when I was going to school in the First World War. I pledged allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There's a lot of things. You've lived through the Depression.
Yeah.
You've lived through a lot of changes.
I've seen men beg for a job and couldn't get it. I've seen the times when I was wondering sometimes whether they was going to have something else to eat. When you got them there little kids sitting there and open their mouth and wanting something to eat, you have to get out and work, whether it's cold or hot or whether you feel like it or not. I've seen changes from the horse and buggy and to the automobile and the airplane. When the automobiles first come around, the horses were scared of them. You could hardly get one by one on the road. Sometimes they'd run off with you. I've rode a horse and buggy many times, and rode a horse too a lot of times.
Remember what it was like traveling at nighttime like that?
You just turn the horse loose and let him find the road. The horse will find the road, but they don't always stay in the road either. We lived out there by the road there. There's no man but the name of Height. Him and his wife had went into town to something and come home at night. And they run over the side of the road into the ditch and killed his wife.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You remember the first car you ever saw?
Well, when I was about 4 years old, I can remember coming into Cumberland, and you remember one of the first things they had was a buggy with a motor in the boot and a big bar on it to steer. And I remember looking at this buggy going along, and this old man sitting there at this bar. After my mother died, I was come down to stayed with a relative family, and they had a 1917 Model Ford car.
During the 60s and 70s, there was a lot of times, especially during the Vietnam War, of burning the flags and things.
Boy,
like
that makes me so damn mad sometimes. If I had that guy there, I could bring him half and two. America is still a good, strong country, but the moral side of America is not very good. It's now you beat the other guy before he beats you. There was a time a man made a deal with you and shook hands with you that was more tighter than any written contract.
Wow, that's good.
If he shook hands with you, that was the end of it. And he upheld his side, and he expected you to uphold yours. And it always pays to be honest and straightforward. Stay out of debt. Do without till you got money to buy it.
Now, do you remember,
Judgment Day is coming. You can't go on the way this country's going. It's going to have to turn around a little bit.
I end up with a lot of questions, but I have to write, and then I forget my questions. That's the problem.
You ain't getting old, are you? How do you know how your old people feel till you get old? Well, the way I feel about it, you're never old any older than you think you are. And you're going to stay younger like you have to stay with the younger people. You don't go on the porch and sit down.